Hey everyone, thanks again for joining us for another episode of the Liverpool Connection podcast with Pub Chat. We're here at our favorite Irish pub, B.D. Riley's, with the best pint of Guinness here in all of Texas. With me again is Del Cross over there, Julian, and because we're playing Newcastle on Saturday at 11:30 kickoff local time, we have some special guests today to represent the Geordie side. We got Byron and Neil. Esmail. Sorry, I knew I was going to mess that up, but anyway. It was hard finding Newcastle supporters here in Austin, so I'm glad I found you guys. But anyway, I'll let you guys introduce yourselves, kind of let us know how long you've been supporting Newcastle, and then we'll get into the game.
Yeah, pleasure to be here. My name's Adam. I've been following Newcastle for 31 years. Relocated to Texas in September last year. Kind of got the Newcastle kind of group, or trying to get a collection of fans the last sort of 6 to 8 weeks, and yeah, we're two of the Newcastle fans here, aren't we?
Cool. My name is Esmail. I became a Newcastle fan when I went to Newcastle for my very first trip to England in 2016. And I fell in love with the city, the people, Northumberland, the whole area, the quayside, you name it. And been a fan ever since.
You know, we had to give you some respect because you did bring the half and half scarf. You know, we usually mock it around these parts, but we're going to let you slide since you brought it onto the show.
I wasn't going to bring it up.
No, so I decided to wear it because I figured I went to the game at Anfield in 2019, which Liverpool won 3-1, and I thought, you know, this is kind of cool. It's appropriate for the evening, I think.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, we're just taking the piss, but anyway, you know, so we go into the game, Julian, this weekend. Newcastle's in fourth place. We're not in fourth place. You know, we're in ninth place. We're 9 points behind with a game in hand. So this game really is a big game especially for Liverpool, but also for Newcastle. You know, when you're really competing for fourth place. What are your expectations going into the weekend, Julian?
I think firstly, I think you agree. Newcastle are above expectations. Obviously, everyone knows about the takeover in Newcastle. What a big deal that is, and. Some people were surprised that they didn't go crazy with the money. I don't think they were ever going to sign Mbappe and all of these players and go crazy. It feels like they've done the right thing. They made the right signings. Like last season, they signed specific players to keep them up, it felt like, and it worked. And now Newcastle, as I say, they're doing really well. And then the signings that you've made in the summer have been fantastic. Again, maybe under the radar signings, but the team, I think it's best defense in the league as well, right?
Yeah, by a way.
Which is a huge deal.
I think 13 goals given up, and the next closest is 9 or 10.
Yeah.
I think Fabian Schär has always been pretty sturdy for us.
Yeah.
£3 million, but I think when you look at what Van Dijk has done, is the new Rolls-Royce defender. I think Sven Botman will be the next one. He looks very, very
He's
sharp.
the one that I was going to talk about, and that's going back, like when Liverpool, you know, when we spent money to build Klopp's success, right, it was you start from the back, and that's what Newcastle done. And Botman was someone that we were after a while back. And he's done fantastically well, but
I mean, you talk about the takeover and what that means for us as a thing, but the fact is that we beat AC Milan to Sven Botman. That obviously means behind the scenes we're selling a project. There is actually a vision, and it's going to be done properly. So
they are, and I mean, they're showing the money, what can happen, the city in Newcastle, how this. I mean, it really is, and it is a cliche, but sleeping giant with Newcastle is, and always has been. Right, the right thing, because Newcastle, like I said earlier before we were recording this, Newcastle, when I was growing up in the 80s, I felt like they were a massive club, even though they weren't winning anything. They always had fucking sensational players, constantly. And if for some reason they just couldn't make it to that next step. But I'm pretty happy for them, because Newcastle fans, especially, passionate.
We've been through the middle.
bunch, right?
I think we were just saying that a couple of weeks ago, weren't we? We were talking about that. Like, if there was one set of fans, I don't think I'd begrudge a little bit of luck and a little bit of silverware and winning a couple of things and some happier days is the Newcastle fans. Like, they've a great fan base. There's always a brilliant atmosphere up there. They follow their team. They follow their team through thick and thin. So I think it's good. I think it's good for the area. It's good for the league. It's great for the Geordie people. But just I know you kind of mentioned a little bit the players and at the back. But what about Eddie Howe? What a job he's done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, kind of. We got a sense that he was a real good manager at Bournemouth, and then it kind of petered out a little bit for him at the end. They went down or whatever. And you kind of were looking at it going, was he the right guy? Was he the right type of signing? And jeez, I don't know how you guys feel about him, but for me, I'm looking at him going, he's a real top class manager, and he's definitely going places. How exciting must that be for you?
Yeah, he was considered for England. A lot of people wanted him to take over the England position. And then when he got to Newcastle, I felt like he was the perfect coach for that team at that time. And now, obviously, he's put his stamp on that team, the way they play. So,
Well, I mean, to that, I know when the takeover happened, a lot of people were really big on Unai Emery, and he was talked about quite a bit. And Amanda Staveley and the rest of the ownership, they took their time. They were very thoughtful in interviewing people, and when they hired Eddie Howe, I think that said something, that they weren't going to go for the big name, the big European name, and what he's done with the team has been phenomenal. Moving Joel Linton to midfield was a masterstroke. He's been dominating in possession and defense in the midfield, and he's scored goals. I don't know if he scored more goals as a midfielder than he was as a forward, but it's freed up his game immensely. Miguel Almiron has played so much better under Eddie Howe, and then again, you mentioned Fabian Schär earlier. Yeah. He was always a good player, but that back four has been absolutely incredible. And Sven Botman again has just been a menace defensively.
And Almiron, right? So Almiron, you could see he had the talent, but he had no end product, did he?
No.
Like he was running down blind alleys. He wasn't doing much. He wasn't. Well,
I don't know. I was just about to mention him. Like I didn't see it. No, certainly didn't see the player that he is now. Now he's like, he's a top
sensational,
quality
isn't he?
player. You know who he reminded me? You're going to laugh at me now. But you know who he reminded me of the last couple of seasons when I looked at him? I used to always think he was this sort of Iogo Aspas sort of a fella. Like not much use. And you're looking at him. He's just a totally different player. Totally different player.
I think it's like when Almiron came in, and even St Maximin, you look at the team he came into, or they came into, we were looking for counter-attacks, looking for quick breaks under Steve Bruce. But now we're actually playing a possession game, so Almiron's getting the ball in good positions, not having to break from the halfway line. When Almiron's got the ball and running with it, he weighs about 4 stone, so anyone was pushing him off the ball, but now you can't do that in the box. So he's getting the ball in a better area of the pitch. And St Maximin's struggling with that because poor old St Maximin was brought in and carried Steve Bruce, carried the team, and we relied on him making those runs. And he's having to adapt now to a different game, and he's trying too hard to do it. But yeah, Joel Linton and Almiron were very average. We all loved their work rate, but they're no end product. But now, they've made European quality players out of them, in my opinion.
that was funny because whenever we watched Newcastle prior to this year, Sam Maximin was the guy, right? You keyed off him. And he's such a great player on the ball, and you have to defend him with numbers. But now that they're playing with multiple people that are going forward, we haven't even mentioned Callum Wilson, and to be able to really spread the wealth out, it makes them. They're already a young, dynamic team, but it just really makes them hard. I mean, if you guys recall that first game between the two clubs, we got the result at the very end of the game, right? So I mean, but I think our trajectories have been kind of different since then.
I mean, if Isak had got that second, which I don't know if anyone remembers, he was called offside, but I didn't see a VAR review of it. It was just called offside. But had that counted, though, that was a different game altogether.
Wasn't that his first game, right?
Yeah, that's his debut.
And remember, we watched Isak and we were like, holy shit, he's going to be good for this team, man.
Then he got injured.
Yeah, right.
Typical Newcastle striker.
Well, I think you talk about this Newcastle team. The games against both Chelsea at St James Park and against Arsenal at the Emirates, I think kind of epitomize this team because they frustrate the hell out of their opponents. In both of those games, it got kind of chippy towards the end, because they just couldn't score, and it got very physical. And I think you look at Newcastle's, I think one win and 5 draws in their last 6 matches, which is frustrating, but it just goes to show that the defense has played exceptionally well, but scoring goals has been the issue as of late.
I think it's come down to the fact, I think the first half of the season, no one believed that Newcastle would carry on this run. And I think even maybe the lesser teams thought, no, they're going to fall off. We can just still play football against them, and we just picked them off. And now they're realising we can't. So now they're sitting back deeper. Maybe that doesn't help St Maximin because he's not playing against a team that's already in his half and he's got a whole green field to run into. Teams are having to sit deeper, but we are not the old Liverpool and not Arsenal, Man City. We can't pick them off as well. So where Arsenal would usually win, we're drawing because we haven't quite got those cutting edge players.
Well, would you say as well, like obviously Eddie Howe came into the season with a plan, signed particular players for this lineup
100%.
to be strong at the back, right? You have the players up front; they can get you a goal. They maybe are not like world class, top quality. Callum Wilson's done really well, but that team is built upon a strong basis at the back. I got a potential English, highly potential goalkeeper in Pope, who's been magnificent, and then you've got that key player in midfield who's been one of the players of the season.
Bruno.
Yes.
My man.
Your man.
Yeah.
So he has been
So we could talk
the
about
player,
Bruno.
right?
Who's not playing in this game, unfortunately.
Endlessly.
Well, that's where I was going to head with the Liverpool game at the weekend, and it's his suspension, his 3rd game, right? Final game, and he is a. If there was a player from Newcastle at the moment that you could really, one player you're going to miss, it's him.
Well, we missed him against you in the first game.
Yeah.
I know.
You know, we talked about scoring goals. So you guys are having trouble scoring goals, but we went 3 games on the bounce, getting shut out. We finally scored 2 goals on the weekend. Right, Salah got off the mark. Gakpo got off the mark. His first goal in the red shirt. So, as far as the Liverpool perspective, you've seen the same 3 in the front, Chris.
Oh yeah, we were. To me, it's rinse and repeat. Maybe Van Dijk for probably Gomez, but the rest of it just stays the same. Do the exact same thing. Don't change anything. I know that Madrid game is kind of close, but if you're going to tinker or mess around, I would be of the opinion mess around with after Newcastle, go up to Newcastle, do the same thing, try to get out of there with the 3 points.
And, we do have to mention that is a factor when you're setting lineups. Obviously you're not having a midweek game, but for Liverpool to think about that game against Real Madrid next week, and with Van Dijk, just probably will have to get some minutes this weekend in order to play against Real Madrid, right? So
I'd agree.
You agree he
I
has
mean,
to play, right?
we discussed this in the car on the way up here. That the only change I would see is Virgil coming. Right. There will be an eye on Real Madrid in the week, so I would agree. Yeah, Virgil in for Gomez or Matip, take your pick. Whoever's fit by the weekend. Very unlikely one of them won't be just because of their history. But the rest of the team, I would expect the same. Nunez, I love on the left, as you know, because he can't play as a number 9 at the moment in a 4-3-3. I would expect who plays right back? Who is the right back for Newcastle? Trippier, right? So I would expect a Nunez against Trippier battle, which will be fun to watch. But yeah, I would expect same team, Virgil in. But we get this wrong every single week. So who knows?
We got it wrong last week, did we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we got it wrong.
Hey,
Let's got a score, right?
I was going to add to that.
But we didn't get the team.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Along those lines, talking about what Liverpool has to do, especially if you're facing Real Madrid coming up, they're having the same conversations with the League Cup final coming up in a week.
Yes.
Joe Willock probably won't play in this game because of his hamstring.
Yeah.
Almiron hurt his wrist. I think what I heard today was that it's not broken. Callum Wilson. Oh, no.
We just took it down a level. Wilson again.
Right, yes.
Yeah.
But Callum Wilson, we were talking about this at the game last weekend. He didn't play in the game, and there was no announcement before the game.
My last name's Wilson. He fucking doesn't represent the Wilson name very well, man.
I tell you, he's always
Well, because he's really good.
That's what makes it frustrating.
No, he never fucking plays.
No, he's done all right this season.
He has done all right.
Yeah.
He's done incredible when he's played, but
When he's played, see?
trying to balance.
He's good.
I
Okay,
know he's good.
big game against
I want him
Liverpool.
to be good.
Sorry. big game against Liverpool, but trying to decide, how much to push some of the players, because if there's one thing that Liverpool has that Newcastle doesn't is depth on the bench.
Yeah.
Well, we're starting.
We
It's
have
just
it
coming back.
now after
it was
injuries.
like on Monday, looking at that bench, I was there like, Jesus, here we go. Now this looks a little bit better, and I think moving forward now, like from a Liverpool point of view, it just bodes a little bit better as long as they all stay healthy. But I just do want to say this. I think from my own personal point of view and from a Liverpool point of view, I don't think we can look at. I don't even think we should be thinking about Madrid. Nothing. Just all guns. Get 3. I think 3 points is absolutely vital on Saturday.
It is.
I think not only just to kind of try put a bit of momentum, but also just put a little bit of pressure on you fellas as well. It'll shorten that gap to 6 with a game in hand. You win the game in hand, then you're only 3 points behind. We've been there. We've done it before from probably a worse position if we were to win on Saturday and win the game in hand.
And we're the worst team when.
We're requiring Alisson to score goals and stuff
So
like that.
let me ask. So I just want to be. Is this the next game after this is the final?
Is the
So
final.
you have a gap between the Saturday.
Well, 8
What, is the
days.
final on the Sunday or the
Yeah,
Saturday?
Sunday, 4:30.
It's on the Sunday. So yeah, I mean that's going to be playing into the mind of Eddie Howe, and you're also going to have players don't want to miss that final as well.
We're missing a lot of our expansive, quality players as well.
Yeah.
We have lost some momentum, and I think, Pickford didn't do us any favours giving Salah some confidence by rolling out a red carpet.
He does us favours every year.
Absolutely,
Love
but
it.
I think this week's game is going to be tight.
was he going? Where was
I
Pickford
don't
going?
know. I don't know.
He
It
thought he was going to Gakpo. Was it?
looked like a glitch on FIFA, if I'm honest. But yeah, I think it's going to be a really tight game for you guys. You're not going to win the Champions League. I really can't see that happening. So you have to make a late charge for the 4th spot. So you've got to take advantage of Tottenham's injury woes.
Yeah.
We're losing momentum, and we probably haven't got the depth. But this game, I think we're going to outfight you. That's what it's going to come down to. We're going to fight you in the midfield. We're going to be really, really physical and really smart about it, because we're not going to go toe to toe with you because we haven't got the players to do that anymore. So, yeah, I think if you're going to beat us, which isn't, I don't think. 6 weeks ago, I said you ain't going to beat us.
Right.
But now I think there's a chance, but you're going to have to really work for it.
But also with the final in mind too. Here's a real shit question, but for you, like
We're good at those.
I would think that you take the League Cup in 5th, right?
I'd take the League Cup at 17th, my friend.
I love the honesty. I'm going to drink to that.
There you go. So, but that kind of plays into it with that game being so close. Well, not close. It's a week, but still, as you were kind of mentioning, players are going to be a little bit like that, going, And the minute you start, we all know this, Premier League. The minute you're not 100% focused on the task at hand, shit can go wrong real quick. So I think that kind of plays into our hands a little bit on Saturday.
And the owners probably want the Champions League, and if you win a cup, that's good. The fans want the cup. We know that.
If
Right?
we come 4th, it's a great season. We'll get done in the Champions League group stage with no depth next season. If we win a cup, that opens us up to win now in your conversation. We're not got your history or winning history, but we're in a conversation. We've won recent silverware. At the moment, if you just come 4th, great revenues, Champions League, probably finish 10th next year because you can't sustain that charge.
But you say that, right? But if you get in the Champions League with the money that you have,
Right.
I mean, you could see a huge summer of spending.
So-
Players will go there if you pay them the wages.
Right, so
and your Champions League footy.
If we
they're gonna
qualify for
go.
Champions League, there is revenue that will be earned from that.
Yeah.
Adam has made the point to me several times. If we don't make the Champions League, but say we make Europa League, it's a much more brutal schedule. You're flying to all these other cities around Europe, and we don't have the depth right now to potentially be able to play all those extra games. The Champions League makes it definitely more worthwhile, but depth, no matter what, is still going to be an issue because of financial fair play.
we don't get the
Well,
revenue.
does that even exist anymore?
Yes. Oh, yes.
It does against Newcastle. You've got Newcastle tax now.
Chelsea.
Well, we're not Chelsea signing the guys to 8-year deals and
Yeah.
spreading it all
Yeah,
out.
but I mean,
So
I
you
think
feel
that
like
I think
full-time
that was
employment,
unheard
yeah.
of before. I think they've maybe set out a bit of a blueprint now for teams that
That's set a
have
precedent.
a shit
They have.
ton of money that burning a hole in their pocket.
Hey, you mentioned trying to get in the Champions League and attracting players. When you signed Trippier, I thought that was surprise
Yeah.
for him to go there. And he's really been a key player for you this season.
He's been absolutely phenomenal, because he's obviously a true professional, like Milner and like that you've had, like proper professional. He's probably brilliant in the changing rooms, great for the younger players. But for someone to come from someone as glamorous as Atletico Madrid to come and play for Newcastle in a relegation scrap at the time, I mean, I thought it was motivating just to hear him associated with us. Then to secure him. And to only pay 13 million, I mean, that's not just Eddie Howe, that's the other backroom team as well. Securing that was absolute masterstroke, probably one of the signings of the decade, given what he's capable of doing.
And you mentioned in the locker room, because he got injured and he didn't play for a number of games in the second half of the season. But just the presence that he had and his experience playing in the Champions League, playing with Atletico Madrid, playing with Tottenham, having that experience, still, I think, absolutely translated to the rest of the guys.
Yeah, he's a prestigious player by our standards. So yeah, it's amazing to have
You're forgetting one player, an ex-Liverpool player that's at Newcastle, Loris Karius. How's he getting on? Why is he Newcastle? What's going on? Do you know? He hasn't played at all, right?
No, he hasn't.
Has he been on the bench?
He's been on the bench.
He's done a few photo shoots, I'd say.
Sorry?
I'd say he's done a few photo shoots.
He's we obviously let Dubravka go to Man United on loan. Our other keepers aren't really Premier League standard. I'm not saying that Karius is a world beater, but he's got Premier League experience. And so it's just good to have someone pushing Pope rather than to take Pope's place.
Karius does have Champions League final experience.
We won't talk about that. But what's weird, I mean, Karius...
Oh, that's over.
Time's up. There is a goalkeeper there. I mean, that season when we got to the Champions League final, he had a run from January, and he was really good. I mean, you're like, okay, maybe he is going to be the goalkeeper, but then his head isn't right. The guy just doesn't have the mentality at the top level.
No.
Well,
it collapsed.
Yeah, he did collapse, but
I'll
be honest.
He posted an Instagram video a few days after the final in LA, did a workout.
That's true.
Around
but I'll be honest. The supporters didn't fucking help him out either, man.
No, he didn't help himself out.
I was rooting for you guys.
No,
he didn't help himself.
Fucking getting him on the field, we were fucking slating.
Yeah, I mean, he totally blew it in that game, and because I was pulling for Liverpool, and it kind of was his fault that you guys lost.
I'm not being funny. Was that not the world's greatest final goal you've ever seen from Gareth Bale?
Oh, that was incredible.
Like, who has the audacity to do that in the Champions League final? I mean,
It was. I remember. I'd never seen. I didn't watch it back, of course. I haven't seen it since. But yeah, I remember. It was.
I've never seen it.
I've got it on the phone if you want to have a watch now.
Yeah, no, it's all right.
No, okay.
It's cool.
Whose idea was the fucking
We can watch the new Liverpool 4, Newcastle 3. We can bring that out.
Two of those.
We bring that out. We can bring out the 4-1 at Newcastle with Steve Nickwatch. We can bring out loads of good.
Yeah.
But anyway, this weekend, I really hope we win, of course, and you get hammered. But then I really do hope the week after, in the final, you win. I really want Newcastle to win that game.
I'll take a point and a Carabao Cup final win.
Yes.
But even if we slide down the table now, unfortunately we're at least in the Europa, because one is up to Man United, who are going to be in Champions League. We'll probably get that spot in the Europa League. Which
probably
that's true.
But I really hope, that Newcastle's an amazing city, great people, wonderful fans, and Liverpool. We've always had a connection with Newcastle.
It's always been a
John
healthy
Barnes,
rivalry.
Beardsley, Rush played there, Dalglish managed there, Keegan, Milner. I mean, there's been any number. Beardsley played there.
Andy Carroll.
Yeah.
We're still spending that money, thank you.
He was brilliant for Newcastle, though, wasn't he? For that season before.
No, he scored 8 goals. He scored 8 goals that season. That was it.
Or the half season, the season before. Andy Carroll.
You got all excited because you sold him back to Chelsea.
I thought he was going to be.
Yeah, you thought.
And many did as well.
Fucking group expert thought
he was at the Glastonbury Festival, and that was his thing. But what do we think? So,
all right,
scores.
Score prediction.
Score prediction. I think we'll win. I think we'll win 2-1. I think Salah will score again, and Nunez will get one.
I think I love a 4-1. Especially against Newcastle. So Newcastle 1, Liverpool 4. I think we'll put a really good performance before Real Madrid. And Newcastle, with the suspensions and the injuries,
I'm going 1-0 just because I know Newcastle's defense is pretty stout this season. So
Why it's going to be 4.
1-0.
I'm going to say it's going to be a hard-fought 1-0. I think we're going to try and slow the game down, and I'll just say it's probably going to be a pretty scrappy game, if I'm honest.
I'm going to say 2-1 Newcastle. I think Liverpool scores. Gakpo scares me after the World Cup. Nunez has not lived up to the expectation. He may score. Of course, Salah is always there. But on the road, Liverpool has struggled this year. Newcastle has been very strong at home. So I've got to go Newcastle, but I'm going to give you guys a goal.
It's very humanitarian of him to do that
It is.
on our show.
We need it. We need it, though. It's been rough.
And another thing, not necessarily football related, how are you finding Austin at the moment?
Oh, I love it. This is like such a cool place.
And where did you move from?
I lived just outside of Brighton in England,
yeah.
so yeah. We relocated in September, and 6 months later, like, we love it. I mean, I thought it was going to be warmer, but
Hold on.
Hold on a
that top.
second. It will happen. So you're
It's
trying.
coming.
So being Newcastle fan, and now you're trying to get the group up and running in Austin.
I just want to watch football with people, like-minded people. I'm not looking to create, a massive super group, but
Yeah.
when Newcastle on TV, I want to go and watch it with a load of cool people. So, if we grow to sort of 20, 30, 40 people over the next few years, and there's a pub going to support having us in there, then that's the goal for me. That would be amazing.
So how about on Saturday? Come to BD Riley's, and you'll have 200 Liverpool fans here, and you can be the lone, or the Newcastle, bring them down here as well. It'll be good luck.
Not if you're going to win 4-1, I don't want to do that.
It's a great pub.
No, not on Saturday, but for the
Yeah,
cup final, we'll support
Cup
them.
final, we can sort something
Saturday,
out.
it'd be good.
Saturday's
Yeah.
good fun.
We
Bit
can
of
join
banter,
forces for the
bit
cup
of crack.
final.
Yeah, Saturday,
Hey.
then we'll come down for the cup.
BD
final.
Riley's is an amazing pub, so it's a great place to watch a game. I've been coming here for a long time, and the food's amazing, the drinks are amazing, the people here are amazing, so I would totally be down for that.
Are you from Austin? You're from Austin, are you?
Houston originally.
Okay.
I've been here about 25 years.
All right, cool.
I was going to say Dublin.
we have to do one more thing because people watch this and ask. So you moved from Brighton. How are you Newcastle fan?
So my dad's a Geordie.
Your dad's
Well,
a
I say
Geordie?
my dad's a Geordie. He was born in County Durham. His dad was a Sunderland fan. He didn't want to be like his dad, so he said, I'm supporting Newcastle.
Brilliant.
When I was 8 years old, I'm pretty sure my mum said, you got to teach your son about the birds and the bees. And he said, fine, I'll have a chat with him, and I came back supporting Newcastle.
Brilliant.
I'm pretty sure that's how it went down, because I never had that chat with my dad.
Yeah, you don't want to be a Mackham.
No.
You don't want to be a Mackham.
Everything I learnt was online.
You got the chat about the birds and the magpies, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
All right. Good. Wrap it
Well,
up.
thanks again for watching. Thank you to our special guest here today. It was good crack, good beers. Cheers. Liverpool versus Newcastle on the weekend. Subscribe, like, comment, put your notifications on. We'll see you next time.
Cheers.